Hi there and welcome to The Wrap, a quick look at the week that was. I'm Diana Dorahy. Well, if you missed last week's French tech panel on tackling gender bias in both the corporate and investment world, don't worry. We did a live Q&A with Nicole this week, who was one of the panelists. And we talked about how the deal flow process can impact female funding, how creating role models can reduce gender bias, and the top 5 ways that investors and corporates can join this discussion. I'm going to put the link of the transcript in our newsroom, and you can check out the video on social. In funding news this week, and there were quite a few, but here are 3 that piqued my interest. US residential real estate platform Orchard has announced a $69 million Series C round. It's a platform that has really taken off in the US and continues to garner attraction, particularly for those people who want to buy and sell at the same time. It's a completely digital offering and well worth checking out. Curio, which is a curated audio platform for journalism, has closed a $9 million Series A round. Effectively, it's articles being read, and they have all sorts of big name media groups as part of it, and I think we're going to hear a lot more about Curio. And Indian food delivery startup Zomato says it's now planning to IPO next year. That comes on the back of the $100 million raise I talked about last week, that is funded by Tiger Global. My story of the week this week goes to a piece about why there are so few women in fintech. We all know that women have been underrepresented in STEM subjects, whether it's at school or at university. Then add to the fact, they make a reference in this article to the fact that a lot of people in financial services made the move to fintech, and in the process brought with them those they've worked with. And so the cycle, if you like, of a very male-dominated fintech sector mirroring a financial services sector refuses, if you like, to be broken. And of course, then you add to the fact, whether we're talking about fintech or other types of industries, the fact that you've got to build relationships oftentimes out of hours, and that is not often family friendly. But the point made in this article, while recognising that there are so few women in fintech, is to come up with solutions. And one of them is to push for women in senior management roles within fintech. And unless that's part of the agenda, you're not going to see women further down the food chain. And that's important whether it's fintech or any other industry. Why? Because they point out that you need diversity to understand consumer needs. And without that, you're going to struggle to be part of the market. Couldn't agree more. My tip of the week this week comes from Brenda Freeman, who's a CEO of art supply giant Arteza. And it was in an article about mind, body and spirit tips from some of the US's leading female founders and executives. And she says, quote, "Invest in customer research, have a board or panel representing your customer, and most importantly, create a muse to put a real face and flesh on the customer for the entire organisation, to be deeply knowledgeable about not only the hardcore demographic information, but the emotional motivators that are important to them, and what role your products or services play in their lives." It's a really holistic view of the customer journey. A second tip for you this week, yes, there are 2, and it comes from Women New South Wales in Australia, and they've released a free financial toolkit aimed at women. And they've included a stack of resources for budgeting, investing in your financial future, and help with unexpected issues. Look, it's really easy to navigate. It's quite basic, but that's a good place to start. It includes things like a superannuation and retirement village cost calculator, as well as planning strategies when you lose your job or you return to work after having a baby, or if you're suffering from serious illness or injury. I'm going to put the link in our website. Coming up next week on Next Chapter Raise, our investor in residence, Dennis Plump, is ready to answer your funding questions. That's on the 17th from 1 p.m. Hong Kong time. Please also don't forget to register for our fireside chat with Ada Lamb. She's the division head for Innovative Business and Ecosystem Partnership at HSBC. She's going to be talking all about the different financing options for founders, and we'll also cover the importance of financial transparency, understanding the different payment and financing solutions on offer, including receivable financing. Register now via our website. It's on September 24. Until then, have a great weekend and see you next time on The Wrap.